What's up YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be showing you how to change out a heater hose assembly on the 2012 Chevy Traverse. This will cover your 2007 through your 2017, as well as your Buick and GMC. So let's get into it. Yeah. So the first thing you want to do is remove your oil filler cap, because that holds your cover on. So I'm going to place that here, and the cover just snaps off. And this put this back in. So the next thing we're going to remove is the throttle body air intake. So that's here. So we're going to loosen this screw in here, your hose clamps, and then we'll remove your hose, your vacuum connector, which is here, and you just push this in, pop that off, and from the other end just pull it out. That's this. Since I already loosened these. And there's a heat shield here, and the way you remove it, which you don't have to, but it'll give you a little more room. There's a screw. I'll show you here. We're gonna remove this screw here, and that'll remove this heat shield cover, and that'll allow us to get our hands farther down in there. Like I say, you don't have to remove this, but it'll give you a little more room. So this is the connector that goes into the engine, which is here, and this is the portion that broke off, and it's mounted to the plastic there, and then it runs back to a T, which your hose assembly is here. It runs to a T, and right here is where the T is going. That's what connects it. And to remove these, basically just squeeze them in and pull them up. Just squeeze these two in and pull it up, and that's how you disconnect it. And from the back where the hose is, we're gonna squeeze in the hose clamps, which is going into the firewall, and we'll squeeze those together and pull those off. So your two assemblies, this is one heater hose assembly, and it runs over to the other side, which is over here, and the other heater hose assembly, which is here, we're gonna, like I said, remove that. Let's see if I can get light in there. So we basically just clamp these, squeeze these together, and then just remove this from the firewall, and that'd be our new assembly, and do the same on the one on the bottom. You can replace these in individual pieces, but it's best to replace the whole assembly, because as you can see, what happens is the plastic deteriorates, and either you get a crack or a break, and the hose is still in good shape, but because of the clamp, you need to replace that section. So we're going to replace the whole assembly. So let's get those removed. It's kind of hard to film, but it's a pretty tight fit. So this is one connector, and that's the other one. So those snap off. Like I said, those, I'll show you those. You push them in and pull them off. And for the ones in the back, it's just a hose clamp coming out the wall there. You got the one released there. And if you're gonna take them off, once you squeeze these in, you squeeze them in with some pliers, pull it out, and then just best thing to do is just cut this hose and pull it out, because it's gonna be pretty tight. So everything is a pretty tight fit, but so far we got that one off, and like I said, we got to squeeze this one in. We'll cut that hose and pull it out, then I'll show you the assemblies. So here are your two hose assemblies, and from the end you can see they have the snaps that clamp on, and this is the portion that goes into the firewall. So the same here, from your firewall to your two end clamps, which is here. And you can't mix them up because this size has a larger coupling than this one. So that's one way, and you can notice the hose is actually longer on that section. So you just match it up and slide everything back together. So you want to use your hose clamps for the ends that you took off, save those, but everything else, as you can see, is already connected. And this is the plastic portion that usually over time goes bad, or the connector on the very end, in our case, broke here. So we're gonna get those put back on. So your connections are from here, and your other one that you can see is larger is here. And then you have the two that are on the firewall that goes into the firewall there. And then the other two connections are here. So that's your assembly. So as you can see, we got everything put back together. Those two connections there to the engine, and your ones that run back to the firewall, and your connections that run inside. So next thing to do is crank it up and get it to operating temperature and check for leaks. You can see the other two connections, which are these two. Like I said, they just snap on, and the firewall two here, and then the two that runs into the engine, which is this connection and this connection. So pretty simple repair. I recommend changing both of them at the same time, and that way you don't have another hose go out after you've done the repair. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the notification for upcoming videos. We'll talk to you later.